I'm Zoe Garbett. I'm the Green Party's candidate for the Mayor of London elections this coming year. I'm so excited about this upcoming election. In 2021, we set records. We were solidly London's third party and inspired so many people with a manifesto of good ideas. We've got a track record of delivering in City Hall. Support for the Greens is growing, and the political space is wide open for us. Politics for people and planet, while the other parties continue to disappoint. It's time for political change, and we are ready. We have the energy, ideas, and candidates to run our most ambitious campaign yet and win big, electing more Greens to City Hall and 4 amazing Green MPs. I joined the Green Party because of our understanding of the need to tackle the root causes of inequalities and injustice. A Green Mayor for London will listen to Londoners, share power, and create conditions for people to thrive, taking urgent action on the climate emergency and considering it in absolutely every decision. Going forward with a fair, coherent transport strategy, transforming space like we've seen in European cities, and doing all I can to make the city more affordable, being absolutely on the side of workers, making bus travel free for under 22s, and retrofitting more homes. London's diversity needs to be celebrated. As your Green candidate for Mayor of London, I've been working really closely with the Greens of Cllr, and I'm delighted to introduce the following speakers. So firstly, we've got Councillor Amanda Onwuemene, a councillor in the Wirral. Amanda has got such an impressive history of addressing inequality in absolutely everything she does, including youth justice, which means she's a brilliant policing and domestic safety spokesperson for us. Amanda and I have had many discussions about the decades and decades of police failings, and Amanda has been absolutely relentless in calling out the Met's need to recognise that it's institutionally racist and how important that is for communities to hear. As Greens, we know the level of reform needed for the police to be in line with what communities want and need. Joining Amanda is one of my dear friends, Tyrone Scott. Tyrone is an inspiring campaigner. He's taught me to be brave and fearless in my values and my activism. We've stood shoulder to shoulder at climate marches, picket lines, and in supporting a market in our local ward from gentrification. Ridley Road Market started in the 1880s by Jewish communities and is now predominantly run by and serves black communities. It's in the heart of the ward where I'm a councillor, where Tyrone and I ran for election last year. It's culturally, socially, and economically so important to Hackney, and it's a vital part of what makes our city so great. So it's absolutely my pleasure to welcome to the stage your fantastic Greens of Cllr speakers, Amanda and Tyrone.
Hi everyone. Firstly, Zoe's gone, but what a privilege to get introduced to her by Zoe, someone I've worked with and campaigned with for so long, run elections with, as we've just heard, but more importantly, somebody's one of my best friends. So to be able to have one of my best friends introduce me to something I've been thinking and wanting to do for such a long time is a privilege and an honor, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But my name is Tyrone Scott. I'm an activist, campaigner, former candidate for deputy leader, and proud Green Party member for the last 9 years. Thank you so much for inviting us to speak here today to represent the Greens of Cllr, and I'm also so proud to share this speech with Amanda Onwuemene, who will speak after me. Being chair of Greens of Cllr is a huge privilege and honour, but also comes with huge responsibility, as we are facing multiple crises, unprecedented rising temperatures, a crisis of inequality, and more recently, a global and national cost of living crisis, all of which are ravaging the lives and lands of the world's poorest and most marginalised communities, often communities of colour. And these crises are not just an injustice in themselves, in that those who are most impacted, who are losing their lives and livelihoods, are those who have done the least to cause these crises. but it also amplifies every other existing inequality and injustice that has been baked into a system that sacrifices the poor, those who are Black, brown, and Indigenous. It already denies many in the global South that most fundamental of rights, the right to live free and with dignity. Centuries of colonialism and exploitation have seen global North countries like the UK and our corporations become rich by extracting massive amounts of wealth from countries in the global South. And it is this same very model of exploitation that has caused the climate crisis, that has caused this crisis of inequality, and that has caused these rhythms of injustice. But this legacy of colonialism is not at all limited to the global South. It is seen here in the UK every single day. It is seen with the Windrush generation, a generation who were invited to this country to help rebuild this economy, only to be treated like second-class citizens, prevented from accessing healthcare, work, and housing when the Home Office failed to keep their records like they didn't matter. With many threatened for deportation and sadly, many wrongfully sent back and sent away from their home. It's seen through the treatment of people of colour from our authorities and institutions that we are supposed to trust, with countless examples of disproportionate policing of Black and brown communities. It is seen through our hostile environment, where just this week, Suella Braverman compared the arrival of migrants to hurricanes and promised to once again somehow go tougher on migration. Even though the 2018 Windrush inquiry clearly called for an urgent review of the hostile environment. And it's seen through our housing system, with analysis from Cllr that found Black households are 11 times more likely to be living in temporary accommodation than white households. It's seen through further analysis that every 8 minutes, a person of colour becomes homeless or is threatened with homelessness. People of colour are more likely to be homeless, live in deprived neighbourhoods, and be living in poor quality homes. We need to have an honest conversation about why this is. And to do this, we must understand the complex history, structures, policies, and practices that have contributed to racial inequality and why this is all linked to our colonial past. But we can't, for one moment, think that this legacy of institutional racism, this legacy of colonialism, inequity for people of colour suddenly stops when we're in this space. We must always be vigilant. We cannot think that we do not have work to do too, that we will never create the real change we need and will never have real representation of the communities that we're seeking to lead. We must challenge ourselves daily and always strive to be better. And as we've just looked to establish, Black and brown people, people of colour, are more likely to be living in poverty or have lower household incomes, and maybe therefore less likely to afford to stop working to run an election, to reduce their hours to be a candidate, to pay for childcare, to go canvassing. We always have to question, what more can we do to support these communities? We have to always question, same bit, but there we are, it's going to happen once. But no, we have to continue to ensure, and one thing that we really have to ensure is that we never ever utter the words hard to reach when we speak about communities. These are communities that have been left behind. We have done, and we continue to do so much well, but we can still do so much better. But I am proud to represent a Green Party that genuinely strives for racial equality and equity. A Green Party that proudly welcomes migrants and refugees. A Green Party which fights to end the systemic discrimination of our Gypsy, Traveller and Roma communities. And a Green Party that understands the complex links between climate, colonialism, inequality and race, and continues to grow in this learning. And I'm immensely proud that 3 years ago at this very conference, we became the first major national party to commit to seeking reparations for the transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans. And when we did that, we demanded an all-party parliamentary group was set up to address our colonial past. And we worked so closely with the International Social Movement for African Reparations to create that groundbreaking policy. And I'm incredibly proud that now that very APPG, or all-party parliamentary group for African reparations, has since been set up and continues to go from strength to strength with our very own Caroline Lucas, a member of that group. We as Greens can make a difference. We as Greens can be the party to represent our most marginalised community and be the party that not only fights for, but secures genuine justice and a better tomorrow for all of us. And as we run up to a pivotal general election, we know this is a watershed moment, and how we respond now will shape this country and the world for generations. We need to work to make sure that our communities know that we are the party for them, for us, for everyone. I am proud to have been the chair of the Greens of Cllr for the last year and worked with some amazing, dedicated people, including our next speaker and Green Party spokesperson for policing and domestic safety, Amanda Onwuemene.
Thank you. Thank everybody here, and thank you, Tyrone. I am a twice elected borough councillor, the Green Party spokesperson for policing and domestic safety, and an active member of Greens of Cllr. So let me tell you a little bit about my ward. It's on the Wirral. It's predominantly white working class. It has one of the lowest life expectancy rates, the poorest housing, the highest unemployment rates, the lowest income levels, the highest air pollution, the lowest rates for educational attainment, and the highest number of Black, Brown and ethnic residents on the Wirral. It's not your typical ward according to Target to Win, but it's green. And I'm not your typical councillor. I didn't have a political home in the Labour Party. I tried them, but I didn't see eye to eye with Starmer. I didn't see much, to be honest. So thank goodness for the Green Party. We celebrate difference and we aim to be welcoming and supportive of everyone. We champion truth and transparency in all of our dealings with supporters and with our members. But are we doing enough? My role as spokesperson for policing and domestic safety involves highlighting the work of the police, their triumphs and their failures. The Casey review of the Met has identified many issues within the force that have their roots in racism, misogyny and homophobia, hence its abject failures. We've had a very similar stringent review, and it's produced diverse matters report. Unlike the Met, we've embraced the recommendations of our report because we can see their benefits for our members and all of our supporters. This open attitude, where truthfulness, openness and transparency are upheld, means that the Green Party can be a better place for everybody. Our outgoing Equality and Diversity officers, Zai Neal and Rashid Nix, produced the report during the 2 years that they were in post. Greens of Cllr hope that Zai's replacement will be named soon, as it's an important post and too important to be left vacant. One important recommendation has already been fulfilled, and that's the need for an equality, diversity and inclusion officer. And Hamza Eagle was successful in securing that post. So having achieved so much over the past 2 years, what are Greens of Cllr going to focus on in 2024? Well, amongst other projects, Greens of Cllr will be updating Target to Win to support our Green groups in being able to choose and support candidates who reflect the diverse heritage of the country we live in, through addressing our previous assumptions of target wards and ideal voters, thus helping to eliminate bias in our selection processes. We will also be reviewing our internal selection processes in order that they too reflect the high standards of truth, openness and transparency that we know will make us a better party for our members to grow and to thrive in. How we support diverse members to succeed and achieve within the party demonstrates to all how we will operate when we're in government. We also want to grow our membership and our committee, so we welcome more Greens of Cllr to join us and to share in our successes. And finally, if you haven't already, please download a copy of Diverse Matters today. Read it during your tea, on the train home, in the bath, get it read. Pick a recommendation and ask your local group, how can we implement this? Start the conversation. If everyone decides that implementing the recommendations of Diversity Matters is their responsibility, then we've got this. Yeah? Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.